you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, TNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station KZAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, and broadcasting all over 5 million homes in Southern California to over 100 nations all over, and celebrating 25 years. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to balance out all that bad news you are so readily available for with some good news, good people, great content. If you missed any of my past 1,100 now shows and over 616 consecutive weeks, please do free subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can get an alert every weekday morning to tell you to tune in. And today is a special day. We already have so much chatter in my cashew gallery because it is Friday, and we're doing Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. She's here, and we're gonna toast. Click.
Toast. No coffee.
And you all know her. She's a model, dancer, the daughter of Otis Williams.
That would make me much younger.
Founder of the Temptations, mom to Trace Austin, who is a wonderful artist, did not fall far from his grandfather's tree. She does it all. You can actually, if you YouTube her, there's tons of great flashback and current interviews with her as a former playmate and just lots of Soul Train dancer, you name it. Please welcome back to my studio, my co-host on Fridays, Elan Carter. Good morning, darling.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm happy, thank you.
Good. I'm glad you're happy.
You've got all kinds of love here. Maria is in the chat, my co-captain of the Cashew Gallery. Let's see. We've got
good morning, Maria.
Happy Friday from Troy. He was my stand-in co-host yesterday. Did a great job. Orville Nation. Let's see. He's starting the gratitude sandwich. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do 8 things we are specifically grateful for, top of the bun. And because I like it on the bottom is 8 specific things that we appreciate about ourselves.
Starting one, let his count as 1. So we don't have this.
Yeah. Okay. Troy's is 1. It was the first gratitude that it's Friday. Go ahead. What's your gratitude?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, my gratitude is I had a very long day yesterday, but it went well and I got through it.
Awesome. I am grateful that Orville saw Frank Shankwich in my intro that plays when the NBC News is playing on the other side. And I am grateful that I got to interview him several times. And he was a friend and the co-founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation. Fabulous guy. He's on the other side now. Yeah, he R.I.P. And look, there's a compliment here for you. Favorite regular guest, Elan is. She's achieved 88% happiness. She's always smiling.
Thank you.
So there's a gratitude for compliments.
That's a gratitude. That is gratitude for having that early Friday morning. That's my second gratitude. Thank you.
Yay.
That I could get that compliment and put it together this early in the morning.
I'm so happy. She was in here before I went live. So that's always a good thing.
Yes, but I had to run away because I had to make coffee.
Yes, yes. I am grateful for the plethora of rain we got yesterday, even though it made driving, a little more careful, which is good. But I'm grateful that we got a lot of rain, and it's so beautiful out right now because there's nothing better than a great rain and the clean, sunny, bright after effect.
That's true. We get rainbows. I am grateful for the family and friends like yourself. As you get older, your circle gets smaller, but you have the quality of the people that support you. I'm grateful for the people that come on and support us every week. Our peanut gallery. We miss you guys when you're not there. And I'm grateful for family.
Yay. And that wraps up 8. So let's go to the bottom of the bun. This is based on my BS, my belief system, that good mental health is founded on your ability to care about yourself. So you're not looking for love in all the wrong places, to care for yourself, to soothe yourself. And we're modeling this before you go to bed tonight. Not that I'm going to be there or anything, but I want you to, instead of thinking about all the things that went wrong in the day or who done you wrong or how you're not good enough because you didn't finish something, instead say, what do you like about yourself? And I'll start off. I appreciate that I am known for positive, caring, warmth, and regard. That is my reputation, that I found out goes all the way over to the other side of the world in Australia. So I appreciate that I have that kind of a reputation. What do you like about yourself?
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I am able to strategize when things don't go the way as I plan. I'm able to sit back and reevaluate and find another way to make things happen.
I appreciate my ability to stick to, having a body that I appreciate, that doesn't look like the one I modeled with, but I'm getting better at accepting that I have an 88% great body.
That's a good one. We should all always appreciate what we have. I appreciate that I'm allowing myself and not be concerned about my body and eat what I like to eat occasionally. I'm actually trying to treat myself when I want to. So I'm getting better at that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to splurge today.
Great. I appreciate that I can roll with the punches.
That's a good one.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate that I'm appreciative of kind people. I'm appreciative that I actually am a kind person and I have empathy for others.
Fabulous. And that is the end of our breakfast, taking a bite out of our gratitude sandwich. I promise you that if you repeat this good life habit and blissapline for 28 consecutive days, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. And let's see, more compliments. Thank you, Orville Nation. And yes, Troy Elan is our favorite regular guest, for sure.
Thank you.
I'm not going to, hopefully the other co-hosts are not listening. But yes, she certainly, I'm not going to say, if I say my favorite, all the co-hosts are going to quit at this point.
Yes, and they're going to be.
He's my favorite co-host on Fridays. How's that?
Well, how about that? Because we have a more of a family relationship, then it makes it different because we have different connection than everybody else.
That's
right.
True.
You're like my adopted, like we're like sisters spiritually. So I think that's why it makes it a little different. So don't be mad, co-hosts. I think they're too old to be hating.
Yeah, right. So I wanted to talk about today.
Are we going to continue last week?
Yeah, we're going to continue last week and also cover, because I'm still dating and I haven't given up yet. And how soon should you have it?
Sex.
Or do the do.
I said sex.
We can say sex. It is Friday, so we're ramping
I'm
you.
going to tell something that I normally don't tell.
Okay.
Because I am all about courting, right? I think you should court someone. I think you should date someone. And I don't believe that. I have to say I haven't ever had a one-night stand. I can actually say that.
Wow.
So, but I have.
You had a 2-night stand.
Maybe a 2-night stand. I think I slept with my husband sooner than anyone I've ever slept with. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when I met him, I thought he was really hot, right? But I thought he was annoying and immature. I didn't listen to my first line. But he had this really great body. So he took off his shirt and had this tank top on. And in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm just going to have fun and get rid of him. So within the first week, 2 weeks, I think we, kind of did the deal, which I normally have a rule that you had a certain amount of dates and I have to take me out and spend money and court me. But I was like, I don't care anyway. I'm not going to keep them. So I was going to have fun. And that's the one that I end up having fun with. Fast forward, I have a friend who's single, who's older, and she's like, who cares? We're not young anymore. If you want to sleep with someone and have a good time, just do it. Like, there's no rules. We're not some young girl that we have to worry about image and impressing people. So if you want to have a sexual relationship with someone, who cares what people think? As long as you're happy. She goes, why should I deprive myself? And she's so funny. This is someone you know. She's so funny because she really feels that way. She goes, I'm not going to deprive myself. And if they're not going to stick around, oh, well. And I think the reason why my relationship worked, because I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't expect him to stick around. And he was in another relationship that at the time I did not know, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't find out for 6 or 7 months because you know how men are.
Yeah.
Are you there? He was involved in something else. I did not know that. But so I kind of broke my rule. But the thing is, it ended up working out because he pursued me, because I just was like, whatever. And I think that women get emotional about sex. And I think because I was so like, whatever, I don't care. I'm such a dude. I have a dude mentality. I've said this before, especially back then. I had a dude mentality. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I think that's why he wanted to stay with me. So all that to say, if women don't get emotionally attached, like, can you stay over or you can worry about spending the night? I'm like, just get up and leave. I think the best thing you could do is get up and leave, because men expect women to stay and want to spend the night. They expect for us to react like that. Mm-hmm. If you treat them like they treat us, that's just my take on it. So if you do get it with someone that you find that you have a physical attraction to, I'm not saying do it right away. I'm saying, but if you do, don't have any expectations and drop it, leave it alone, and don't call them. Now, Orville, all you guys, the peanut gallery, can come and give us the best advice.
I wouldn't say it's the best.
My fingers will fall off before I pick up that phone and call you. I'm just going to look at that phone and go, okay. Even if I want to, I won't do it.
Well, that's that game that people talk about hating, playing the game. But really, there's no way around it. There's no way around it. It's one of those, whoever does this, then they go that way. And then it's like this, and then it's like that. it's that, James and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Why is it the ones that you want to chase you don't? Or, the ones that you want are like backing off when you chase them.
Right.
So it's one of those weird things. And so like lots of layers in that. One is I didn't think that I could have sex without getting emotionally attached, right? Because I think I act like a dude or lead as a dude, or as Dr. John Gray tells me, I lead with my testosterone, and like I'll just be really direct and is there something here or not?
But you put the emotion in it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you may have the high sex drive, but you are getting emotional. Like, where are we? I think that's where you cannot be. Where are we? What is this? What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. It was a physical attraction, which is kind of animalistic, right? Because we are physically attracted to that person. And you just got to be like, well, whatever. Once you put that on the table, because I did that with my husband after like 4 or 5 months, I was like, okay, well, he was in another relationship and I was dating someone else. So I was just kind of like, well, if I'm going to be with you, then you need to tell me. So he thought I was trying to lock him down, but I was trying to decide where I was going to put everybody else.
But
so that's why that question came up.
Yeah, don't relationships that start that way have difficulties? Because if they could do that to someone else, they could do that to you.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It's just that we were not committed. If I'm dating you, and because and this is the thing, I can't imagine what it's like now because it was no online dating. So there's no internet dating. So it's totally different now, right? Because this is just me being Elan the player back in the day. And obviously he was too. We both were in the same, right? And he's younger than me. So he was in his like 20s. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to get involved with this guy. Because I didn't know that he was younger. I was like 31, but he was like 28. I mean, I was a lot older, but still at that time, I think you're older, right? And so, he was in a situation, but I didn't know it. See, that's the thing. I did not know it. And you're right. How you get in a relationship is how you usually get out. But neither one of us were locked down. So it wasn't like, oh, you can't sleep with somebody else. I wasn't his girlfriend. He wasn't my boyfriend, but we did have that conversation at one point. But that's because I had other people too that I was interested in. So I needed to know where I was going to put everybody. Right.
Yeah.
But I gave it to some time. You can't do it right away because you got to get someone a chance to get feelings for you. Men are not emotional about sex at all. So there has to be something that they like about you that they become attached.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I go back and forth on, I thought that I couldn't have sex without emotion, but I have since realized just this past year, hint, hint, that I can, and I don't go to the, I'm going to be with you forever and write my name with their last name and all that when you're a kid, when you have these fantasies about happily ever after and them being the one to complete you. I'm glad to say I'm way beyond that. But I still thought that I would need to feel some kind of an emotional bond to be able to do that. Now, I'll tell you the weird thing that happened is when I have experienced now just sex without a relationship, I feel like I'm out of my body and I'm like watching my own voyeur.
Yourself, right?
Yeah. That sounds weird. Sorry. Eliminate that.
No, I get it.
But it's like this weird, like, this is interesting. And, I don't know if do I want to do this again? Like really?
But it's the same thing when you're younger and you date someone and you don't never necessarily have chemistry with someone in the bedroom. I mean, there's times where you're with someone, you could find them like super attractive, but then there's no chemistry and you're like, there could be different categories of people. You can have someone who's actually, you meet someone online that you're dating that you might just want to go to the movies with, or I call them sponsors, or you may have a sponsor just to go out for lunch or dinner with, right? You can have friends in different categories. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. You can meet someone that you like, that you intellectually have a good conversation. And I think that's really important for you if they're not intellectual. And so you want the passion and the steaminess and all that, and the intellectual. Most of the time, you're not going to get both. Very rare you're going to get both, because men that have that kind of, like fire, and you have that kind of chemistry with in the bedroom, most of the time don't want to have an intellectual conversation with you, because they're already like, that's their thing. So trying to have a conversation with them and want to talk about intellectual stuff, they don't want to. Right?
You don't think
you got to get a friend.
You don't think I can have both? You don't think I can have both?
Yeah, good luck. So you have one that you go to movies with, have one that you just go out to dinner and have that intellectual conversation, and then have a third for passion. You don't want to get married again, do you? So that's 3 sponsors, a sponsor for each.
We have a problem with 2, and you're adding a third?
And don't call them by their names, because you're going to forget and then call them the wrong name.
This is great advice. If you just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, you are tuned in to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Central, my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe, you will get an alert every weekday morning to tune in to fun series like today, Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and
Elan Carter.
And we're talking about sex and dating, a little hot
and I'm
topic
keeping it
here.
clean. I'm keeping
She's
it clean.
keeping it clean, but you are triggering a couple of comments here. Orville Nation.
I knew I was getting in trouble.
Men can be emotional, depending, and different. So you say all men are, and so Orville Nation is taking his exception to that rule. Interesting conversation. Just call them honey. So that way you won't get their names mixed up. So he does agree with that one. But I will say that her statements are a group difference, that most men seem to be able to experience sex in a less emotionally attached way than most women. So let me temper that one. I think things have changed as we ask men to be more in touch with their emotional side. And certainly I know Troy has shared with me that, he's very emotional and sensitive on the one side. So the typical man kind of thing doesn't really apply sometimes.
But Troy, you've been married a long time, haven't you? Isn't
Troy 31 years.
That's why you have a great marriage. We're talking about these guys
Hound
out here
dogs.
or single for her for dating. That's why you have a good marriage, because you get it. Most men don't get it. If you need to write a handbook, has successful marriages and how to treat a woman. Obviously, your wife is happy.
So it's funny, because I was talking to one who just went there, and I have not contacted him, because when I asked him not to send me a picture, and I said
it's a different generation. They do these pics, and I'm like,
but he didn't. I mean, he didn't go down to the dirty. He just said he was.
But the kids call it sexting, when people send you sexual things. And I'm like, you can't send people sexual things. My friend was telling me about someone she was dating, and she's like, I haven't even gone out on the first date with this guy. Exactly. And he's already texting me. And she's like, and we're middle-aged, and he's already sending me stuff that's like, she's like, it's just so inappropriate. It's not that you wouldn't be interested, but I think because they're used to dating younger women, and that's how the new generation operates. They don't. Remember, we used to be on the phone when we met someone, we're excited, and we're like, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. They don't do that. that was so much fun. You'd be on the phone all night, fall asleep, and be like, are you asleep? No, you hang up. Now it's just like they just sext on the phone and send each other, I mean, these texts. It's anyway. And so if you date someone that has been in a relationship with someone younger, and then they come back to you and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not even in that mode. One of my other friends was dating this man, and he said to her, look, this is what I was doing. I was dating someone so much younger. And she's like, well, you need to go back to that because this is not working. You know, he wanted to introduce all these new things. She goes, I'm happy that you've explored that, but I'm past that stage. He had found this new happiness and wanted to, you know, live like these young people and do something. I can't say. I mean, we just have to have a separate thing online so I can really talk dirty one day. I can't.
I told Frank to be ready on the button.
I can't.
Just
I'm
in
good. I'm gonna be careful. I can't say what I want to tell.
Maria is like having a good laugh over all of this. So yeah, I was gonna this one guy's response was just like, I'm like, wow, maybe I should get off the app, but I'll find it. But anyways, oh no, I don't know.
Some of the responses.
But anyways, so your solution is for me to triage my dating. So I have a category to have fun with, a category to have intellectual conversations with, and a category to go to the movies where you don't talk.
Well, yeah, it's just that you might want someone who likes different things, right? I'm sorry, I have a cat, and I always have cat hair, and Maria understands. I've got this Maine Coon cat with this beautiful hair, and I always have little fine hair. I think that you should just go out with people that you find attractive, just casually, right? Start off casually, and then you'll decide what category, that triage that you're going to put them in. Just have fun, because if you think about it and you have, oh, I want him to be smart, I want him to be sexual, I want him to be this, and you're putting restrictions on people that you might find interesting, that you might like, because you didn't give it the chance to even do that. It's like men looking at us as only sexual. If they look at us only sexual, then they don't get the chance to see if they like us or not, because men are, you know, they're physical.
Yeah.
They only want to look at a woman depending on what physically attracts them instantly, where we look for different things in men that we find attractive. Of course, it's physical, but it also is their careers, how they dress, all that leads up to being sexy and powerful, and that turns us on, right? That gives the stuff that we like, that turns us on. Men have a hard time realizing that it's not hard physical. Right, exactly. How hard? See, you started it. Started it, and then I get dirty, and then you like, Elan, you can't say that because you know I'm going to go there.
Well, that's the thing. So I'll take ownership. I have that. I do that, right? And then so I kind of start that ball rolling, or balls rolling, and then they'll reciprocate, and then. You know, and then I'm like, don't, you know, you're moving too fast, but it's my fault because I kind of started it. But that's the thing. Like, I'm all talk, and then the action, I get like spooked.
But you can't do that because you started. You have to set boundaries,
and I have to finish it.
Right. So either finish it or set boundaries.
Well. No, I have to be real clear up front that just warning, like label warning, I'm all talk, and I love.
You shouldn't say that either, because because if the guy says things to us, it's a turn off. If I'm dating a guy and he's interested in me sexually, if he starts asking me questions before I even got intimate with him, like, what do you like? And do you do this? I'm like, that's a turn off. Like, I don't want you to ask me the questions. They're like goofy, right? Then that like turns me off because I find them to be a goober. Like, don't ask me stuff. Just feel me out and see if you can, like, their chemistry and the energy. And if the energy and the chemistry is going, then you kind of explore and you kind of Then you can sit there once you start off and then go, hey, is that okay? But don't start off like that. I want to do this and I want to do that. Do you like that? I'm like, I don't even know you.
Yeah, but you said put boundaries down. And
put boundaries down.
It's a warning label.
Because you don't need to put out there that I want to hook up. Just don't even say it. If you find someone you're attracted to, then go on a date with them. And if the sexual conversation comes up, then you can, once you go to the movies, and then that's how you can like play around with it and flirt. Go back to flirting. Then you gotta feel them out.
But that's the point, is that I went down there, not down all the way, but I went there.
Then you might get him if you want. If you go down,
went there
under.
But then I said, ask me out on a date so we can, and then he's like, well, we don't have to follow the protocol or something.
Well, why did you say ask me out on a date?
Because we were like flirting. And
well, why don't you say, would you like to go grab a cup of coffee?
Because
that's the easiest way to get a date without him having to ask you, and then he could figure it out. Go start off with a cup of coffee. Would you like to go have a cup of coffee? And don't go to Starbucks or one of the big ones. Go to like a really like cool little. When I first went out with my husband, I took him to this place in Studio City. It's a really cool little quaint cafe, which is still there, called Aroma Cafe. So it's a coffee shop, but it's really cute and it's like a garden. Now I take my son there. So just go, hey, you want to go grab a coffee or something? And then he might say, well, he might buy you lunch while you're there. Make sure it's a place that has food, because and I like to eat. So if he likes you, he'll feed you. You got to feed me.
But that's the way I'm interpreting his comment, is he only likes me to go there. And
well, because you said you said that.
Yeah.
And because you said, oh, before we go there, why don't you ask me on a date? You put that out there. You shouldn't have said that.
I guess I need to have you beside me all the time before I respond to texts. Obviously, is what I'm learning.
You set yourself up for him to be able to say, well, we don't really need to go out on a date where I can take care of your needs. And that's how the dating is now. That's why they have Tinder. I told you last week, don't go on Tinder, because Tinder is a hookup.
But I had friends who got married on Tinder. So I have friends who got married on Tinder, and my daughter actually met her boyfriend. I
know married men that have tried to get on Tinder. And I'm like, what you doing on Tinder?
By the way, guys,
on the table.
Yeah, thank you.
If you're married, why are you on Tinder? So there you go.
Well, that's the other thing. There's a lot of couples that advertise there. And by the way,
but I'm not a swinger.
That's true. Monetized, so
I'm not a swinger, but I know people that are, and that probably are. If I know about it, then that's different. If I don't know about it, then that's a hookup. But you set yourself up. When you meet someone you're interested in, say, oh, well, what area do you live in? And, hey, well, maybe we should meet up for coffee, because you may not like them when you see them in person. My sister, when the dating app first came out, she got on one of those. I forgot what the first one was, but she was on it, right? My sister's pretty with amazing job. And she met this guy. She said, this guy was so fine. She said, he looked like a Latino Brad Pitt. She's like, I almost passed out when I saw him. She's like, he was so hot, and he pursued her. She goes, he was the most boring person. Like, trying to have a conversation with him was so hard. And my sister's the same way. She likes someone who's intellectual. She goes, I just was turned off. Like, I didn't even want to get intimate with him. And he liked my sister. And she was like, I just couldn't do it. I'm like, but he looked like Brad Pitt. She's like, I can't. She goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, you go. You got to meet them in person to see if they have the physical thing, because some people don't have that sexiness. They may look good on a picture.
That's why I want a video call.
No.
Why?
I gotta teach you how to date. I know your daughters are trying to teach you. Come on. I have to finish my book. So I had started this book like 20 years ago. And my mom said that, I told you, my mom said the disciples are going to finish it. I'm going to get it out. It's called the women's Bible. And the reason why I probably started writing it is because when I first got married, because I had just was coming out of my dating stage. And the thing is, I got married later in like my mid 30s because I was dating, right? Because I was just like, whatever, I don't care. So I wrote this about how, you know, how when you have a friend, like you see me and things that are going on in my situation, you can see it from your perspective. That's how I write it. Everyone has these self-help books, but this is like if your friend is talking to you, and then I set the situation up and things that affect us. And some of the things you talk about, our childhood trauma affects how we perceive ourselves and the relationships that we pursue, or how a opposite person that we're attracted to responds to us, is how we respond based on our trauma. I got to finish this book. So I think now I need to update it because of the online dating is different. And I think I need to bring it up to date about how dating is now, pursuing someone now, trying to date someone, or dating after divorce, or dating as a mature person. You know, my mom's beautiful. I mean, my mom got divorced in her early 50s. And I said to her, why won't you date? My mom looks so young. And she was like, but the men that I'm attracted to want younger women. The men that are successful want younger women. They don't want women, even though I don't look my age, they don't want women my age. So that needs to be a chapter, because I don't think all men are like that. I think there are men who like women that they can relate to. Yeah. Because no one's gonna, if I was to date someone right now, 25 years old, which I'm not attracted to young guys, but if I was to date someone 25 years old and they don't even know who Michael Jackson is, and Prince, you got to get out the car. If you don't know who Michael Jackson is, you're getting out my goddamn car.
Oh, Elan.
What?
Anyways, Frank, I hope you caught that. If you've just tuned in, wondering what the hot conversation is today, it is sex and dating, and Elan is giving us a preview of her book that's coming out with advice for dating. I'm not sure I want to buy into the statements that I cannot have, or there isn't a guy. I mean, I agree with you of what you just said, that there are guys that are attracted to older women, that they're older, and older women that they can, you know, have a relationship with and have. I hope that it's not true that I have to, you know, bifurcate or trifurcate, you know, what I want into three guys. Like, I'm hoping to meet a guy literally like this. So I match, start chatting, figure out we have, you know, similar senses of humor, so here's the contrast. I had this one guy, you know, when I did the response, he goes, wow, hot, older Asian babe.
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, that's not how I want to be, like, summarized as. That's an insult.
He called you a hot babe.
No, he called me a hot, old Asian babe. Excuse me.
Well, he should have left the older out.
So
he could have called you an Asian babe. He could have left the older out.
Even that, you know, when people go,
I
always
get it.
been attracted to Asian women. I'm like, look, I'm not going to cook for you. I'm not cleaning for you. And the only way I'm going to walk on your forking back is with high heels that hurt. So it's
like when you date someone and you may not be, I've dated guys who may have not dated women like me, right? I don't need you to categorize me and say that to me to let me know what I am. I know what I am. Either you like me or you don't. It's not a different thing, right? We have the same body parts. And so and I think sometimes people don't know how to express that. They get excited and they think they're complimenting you, which is quite offensive when they say it that way. And I don't think people realize that no man should ever talk about a woman's age, period. Right? They wouldn't say that to someone who's 19, 20 years old or 21, whatever they like. They're little sick minds.
That's my point.
So that's the number one thing. You should never talk about a woman's age. I don't care how old she is. You shouldn't ask her how old she is. And if you're attracted to her and her age is an issue, then you should say, oh, I thought that you were younger or whatever. If you like someone, you pursue them. I'm not telling you to put 3 people in 3 different categories. What I'm saying to you is, if you have, I know these are, and knowing you, these are the 3 things that you're looking for, right? Until you find that person, don't put all these stipulations on every person you meet.
Okay.
Go out with several people and see who, they may not be in the category initially that you want, but when you go out with them, you might be pleasantly surprised.
Okay. I can.
You understand?
I can take that.
So I'm
Maria
not
saying
you have like 3 different people. I'm saying go out with several people and then put them in different categories, and then you can see for yourself. You know what? I like this one more because sometimes the chemistry will help develop each thing you like.
Right. So Maria is agreeing with you. We need the in-person contact to fully see if there is an attraction. We're attracted to the pheromones. I'm not saying I don't want to meet them in person, but I also don't want to waste time, which is my number one valuable resource. And so the video call is just to see if their pictures actually
match their right.
Them, right? And if it does, then of course we meet. And it doesn't
but
have to
I still would say, let's go out for a cup of coffee, because it's very sterile to try to meet someone. And I think sometimes camera doesn't do people justice. You can feel if someone has sex appeal or not. So I agree with Maria. I still think you should do that because you're saying, I don't want to waste time, which is going to categorize you as trying to rush it. And you're rushing it because you feel like, well, I'm getting older. I got to hurry to meet someone. Don't do that.
No. I'm not
that's
that.
How it's going to interpret. That's how it's going to interpret to someone.
Okay. Well, honestly, I've been, and you're going to yell at me for this, but what I have been saying is because like they're all, asking questions, answering, and I have 8 jobs, and last week was this huge week, and big project culminated on Tuesday, a year's worth of work, and it was great. And Chinese New Year, and then turning 15 sober. Like there's so many things that were going on. I couldn't even get on to respond for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
so I was feeling bad. So I put down there, don't yell. I said, I'm sorry, I have not been responsive. To tell you the truth, I haven't dated in 7 years. And, but recently I've realized that I may not have been giving relationships a fair shake around I didn't go on that long, but something to that effect. I'm not going to read it.
I'm going to fuss at you about that, right?
I know, but I know. Here, I'll read it exactly as I wrote it.
But listen, before you even read it, I'm going to tell you, you don't give an explanation because that's going to instantly turn someone off, right? Because someone's going to go, you haven't dated in 7 years. Why? That's how they think.
No, I've had
what they
everything
they can't have.
I've had everyone say, everyone say things like, totally understandable. Thank you for your heartfelt response. I've had all of that. So not all of them, like I copy pasted. So like I would say 2/3 of them were extremely nice in their response. And then 1/3 I didn't. So yeah, I probably turned off the 1/3.
I think you should just
you know
say,
what? That's me.
But I'm telling you,
that's who I am.
But the thing is, though, you're saying that, but you want to date, and it's a different game. So you're going to have to step up to what's going on, because if you're going to stick to, well, that's who I am, then you're going to still be in the same situation. We're trying to help you get to there by telling you don't do the things that has not been working. If this is not working for you, remember when I said earlier in the show that one of my appreciation is that I appreciate that if something doesn't work, I look at another way to strategize to get to the goal.
But I'm not saying it's not working. I'm meeting a lot of really interesting people.
Okay, but then why are you? Well, you are
inquiring. I haven't had time to go.
Okay, so just say, you know what? I've got my career is really great right now. I've got this going on. I just wasn't able to get back to you because I was at an event. When someone thinks that you're doing something, then they place more value on you. So just say, hey, I just had to do this speech and I'm so sorry. I was in Vegas doing this amazing thing. And the people go, oh, wow, she's like interesting, right? You see what I'm saying? Like you put yourself on the Asian Oprah platform.
But if I am an Asian Oprah, then I have guys that are just like putting me on this pedestal and, oh my God, wow, I have so much to learn from you.
Do you think the men tell the truth about what they have to offer or who they are? To
I
get
hope so.
women attracted to them? It's a game.
So.
You got to outsmart them.
I want to give some love out to Orville Nation, who
probably
just
saying
gave us
Elon's crazy.
$3.
Orville thinks I'm crazy.
He gave us the money for coffee. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Orville Nation.
thank you. I need to buy more coffee.
Yeah.
He probably thinks I'm crazy. He's like, Elan says.
No, he probably agrees with you more than he agrees with me.
Because I think like a dude. I'm telling you, you gotta not explain. You just gotta say, hey, I have to ask my sister who's younger, who's single, what are the protocols? Because we don't know the protocols, right? How do you know what the protocols are? So you have to find out. You can't go and do what you did just a few years ago. I'll say just a few years ago. It's different.
A few decades ago.
Well, you don't have to tell them that. I just said a few years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm learning a lot. I did go on my first date. And
good.
I did. On whatever night it was. A couple nights ago.
Did you not like him?
I liked him. Very nice, super interesting. It was my first time I've ever dated an Asian guy since I've only dated one other Asian guy.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah, and I know you dated an Asian guy.
I've had a few serious relationships with Asian men. I lived with one.
I've never had a serious relationship. I've never even gone on a date with an Asian guy except for once in college. So, and he was a childhood friend, and it was just not good. But I mean, we're good friends. We were friends, and it just didn't translate. But this guy on his picture looked cute, right? Yeah. And when I had a conversation on the phone, super interesting. He spent, I shouldn't give details, but I mean, it was interesting. And he asked me out for dinner, and normally I would do coffee, but it was Chinese food, and I can't turn down Chinese.
I know you love Chinese food. I love Japanese food, and she loves Chinese food. I'm a Japanese.
Oh my gosh. So it was great food, good Chinese restaurant. I have to rethink everything that I had a BS belief system about Chinese food in Orange County. Apparently, there's tons of really good Chinese food in Irvine.
Yes, they have the best food.
I didn't know.
I knew that.
Yeah, I thought Din Tai Fung was the only place. But anyway, so we went, and it was a great conversation.
See?
I didn't. It was a great.
Let's just start off with him. We've had this whole show about all these guys, and then you had this great date who had good conversation.
But no toe curl, no pilot light lip.
Because you are not, well, I don't want to say you're not attracted to Asian men, but you seem to not have dated any. Actually, the guy before I got married, he was actually a mixed guy. I was in a serious relationship with him. And I started dating my husband when I met him because I was like, okay, if I meet someone and you haven't moved to the next level, I'm out. And so he regretted it because I warned him, right? I said, okay, I'm giving you, because I was with him for 4 years. So he was half German and Japanese. He actually didn't look Asian. But the guy that I live with, like, I've had good relationships because they treated me well. They actually, those relationships were my most positive relationships. I think because culturally, that was one of the reasons why, regardless whether we stayed together or not, during that relationship, those guys treated me with respect and well.
Yeah, he picked up the check. No, there was no hesitation. He, was very, very.
But you don't know if he makes your toes curl if you don't go on another date. He may make your toes curl if you give it another chance.
But I don't think, if there's no spark in the first time, I don't know it. I don't know many cases of spark on the second time when there's no
Okay,
spark.
so I'm gonna go this in the book again, right? Now that I've gotten older, this is what one of my best friends said to me, and she's much older than me, and she always gives me good advice. So she's like my big sister, and she's had 3 or 4 like men ask her to marry. She always getting engaged, and she said, "How is your type working for you?" That's what she said to me when I was younger. And I was like, "Why? He's not my type. He's not this." She goes, "How's your type working for you? Because you keep making the same mistakes and having the same issues." And when she said it to me like that, I was like, "Oh." So in other words, give it another chance if he was respectful. You may not be physically attracted to him, but sometimes when someone treats you well, then you look at it differently.
I also
that fire relationships are the ones that don't work.
Well, I also like it's not just the spark or whatever. You know, he's never been married, and you know, I think he's looking for someone to have a family and children with. And I'm, you know, this baby factory shut down. So,
Right.
but you know, so nice guy though. But I'm proud of myself that I actually went outside of my type.
Was he a younger guy?
Yeah, a little younger, but not like, you know,
But he wants to have kids.
who's younger. Well, he's never had kids.
So you know, one of my best friends, he's like my brother, used to be my agent. You know, we've seen him with the long hair.
Yeah.
He wants to meet someone, and he's always says the age thing is only an issue because he's never had kids.
Right.
So he wants to meet someone who he can have kids with.
Exactly.
But he likes young women, but then he realizes he doesn't have the tolerance for someone young. So we keep saying, well, 35 is okay, because that's still age baby, bearing age.
Yeah.
Even though in his mind, he thinks you have to be 20. I was like, no, but you're at the age where you need someone who's going to be sophisticated and mature. Because now we should do another show, maybe have him on, because he actually is single too. And there's some issues about, you know, him meeting the right person. He has the same thing. He wants the hot girl, right? To look a certain way because he was a big agent. So of course he wants the model type, but then he's like, I don't have what I need to offer them at the moment.
Yeah, I just thought of a topic for next week is, can you have it all? Because this is what we're talking about, and your guy wants it all. And who's to say that there isn't that? I mean, I know some hot 36-year-olds who really, really want to have kids who look like they're 20, right? So same with me. And we also have, he dated a Cuban Asian once, interesting, and he just gave us more money because he's trying to convince me to activate memberships on my YouTube channel. So he's using the chat to pressure me into doing stuff he wants me to do. But anyway,
tell her to share the money so I can buy some coffee.
Yeah, I know. We're going to share the money. $4 towards a $400 bill at sushi. But that's all right. We're good on that. We're running out of time.
You know I love sushi. Anyone that wants to get to my heart better come with some sushi and coffee.
All right. Frank's saying we have 1 minute left. Thanks so much for joining us. This is always a tempting conversation. Thanks, Elan. Love you. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best weekend. Ever. Bye, Cash Reach Out Gallery. Thanks so much for the love and the money.
Coffee.